swapped up to the correct microphone. Alright, I was making sure it was alright. Hope you guys are having a good Saturday. Today is a long day coming for me. I've been trying to do some extra work for a little bit, and life just gets in the way, which is fine. Family is more important than any sort of job. But hey, it's nice to get it accomplished. I got 90 foot of this done. This is already cut at Velocity Factory and completed. So this harness is finished. None to have to do there. I'm going to go ahead and put it aside. This harness right here, I did it last night also. I already cut at Velocity Factory and is completed. So if you look, there's both ends right there. This is set up with a PL259 setup right here. So it has a UHF connector. I didn't leave you guys completely out. So I left you guys an end right here for me to work on. And then I've got two more coaxes that's already cut at Velocity Factory. I just gotta go ahead and put them together. So this is what we're working on right now. Hope you guys are having a good evening. All right. So let me take a look right here and see if I've got something messed up on this channel. Nope, nope, nope. RF supply, public, we're all good. So we got chat right here, cool. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get our butts to work. I've got to do this, and then I got some meters to do after this. I figured I would include you guys because, hey, it's just nice and fair enough to bring you guys along, let you guys see what's happening. Maybe some of your Saturday guys have never seen any of my lives. I don't know. No real way of me knowing who all makes it into these things, especially with my absolute abysmal, what do you call it, notification schedule. Like, I hate to be that guy, but I'm the guy who will just go live whenever I get a chance. Not really set up a live schedule and be like, hey guys, on such and such date, I'm going to be live. Yeah, no, it doesn't work that way. I try to come out here 3 days a week and go live so you guys can hang out and see different coaxes and stuff getting made and stuff. But it just doesn't work out that way, unfortunately. So now I think, I'm not 100% sure, this is either my first or second live this week. It might be my first. So I'll go ahead and finish this connector up. You guys will see how it's done, and we'll go from there. I'm going to zoom in on, what is that, Facebook land and YouTube land. Let you guys see what we're doing, but we don't have to be so far away. I think it's okay to zoom in. You guys can see my beard over there on TikTok. Let's do some zooming real quick. Zoom, zoom, zoom. We ain't zooming in my beard. We're just looking at what we're doing right here. Something like that. Be fine. Okay, cool. So I've got to work right here. It should be pretty good. It's kind of risky putting you guys in that kind of shot. Let's zoom out just a smidge. If you guys got questions about RF theory or anything like that, feel free to ask. I would rather talk to you guys about this stuff than I would just sit here and have to do this stuff. I could always do some other stuff, but hey, I figure it's been a minute since I hung out with you guys, so I might as well. Now, I do something later on in the evening times. I don't really do it completely on my RF supply, but I do it a little bit. I've done it a little bit on YouTube, done it a little bit on other stuff. It's a little pet project that I've been working on, and it's just a local kind of event thing, just kind of support people. Maybe you guys will see it a little bit later this evening on YouTube land. What's up, Giovanni? Hope you're doing well. Oh, I had a fellow who wanted me to call him. I forgot about that. If I don't call you back, or if I don't correspond with you, don't feel like I'm trying to be disrespectful or anything, or not valuing your business. To be quite honest, I just totally forgot. I have a reminder set up, but if you don't message me on my business page and you're trying to get me to give you a phone call, or you're trying to get me to do something that's outside of the way I normally contact people, it becomes a little muddled and gets a bit lost. I do my best, but I have to have like a regimen schedule to be able to keep up with everybody who's out there and try to respond to everybody properly and things like that. So don't feel like you're going to offend me if you send me a second message as a reminder. Maybe not immediately, but just shortly after, maybe an hour or two or something like that, just in case that I've forgotten or something else has come up and has put me off of whatever I was trying to do to help you out. Now, if I haven't responded, probably don't send it twice, because I mean, I'll just see both messages whenever I get around to getting a look at it. I have a very short window that I can actually do work. I do a lot of responding outside of my work hours. Even right now, I'm outside of my work hours right now. I'm not available 24/7. It's just not, I can't make that happen. But thanks for hanging out. You guys will see what I'm doing right here. I've done a few of these this way, and this is the new method that I'm putting together, 1/2-inch flex, and I'm liking it pretty good. That is annoying. I don't like that squeaky sound. I put something on my chair. You guys can't see it, but it's some foam, some wraparound foam, and that's because I like to try to be careful with my customers' equipment. And these armrests for these chairs kind of drive up into the coax. And you got to be careful just to make sure everything's safe. I have to scoot up to come in the picture right there. All right. If you guys have not seen 1/2-inch flex before, it's commonly used in broadcast. It's commonly used in telecom for your short jumpers nowadays. They're running the fiber all the way up to the top now. It's commonly used in the amateur world. There's a lot of different stuff and areas that this coax is used in. It could be used for a lot more, but it just depends on the individual that's trying to use it. What's up, Happy Camper? Hope you're doing well over there, man. If you guys got any questions, if you guys want to support me or anything like that, feel free just to tap the like on there and just like the video, and maybe more people will get to see the videos. If you are really enjoying what you're seeing, feel free to subscribe or follow me. Thanks, guys, for hanging out on a Saturday. This is maybe outside of your guys' wheelhouse. If you guys have been on TikTok before and you see like people playing music or people, whatever people do on TikTok nowadays, I'm sure it's expanded a lot now since when it first started. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate you, Henny. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Appreciate you guys liking the video. It's awesome. Tapping the screen is definitely very helpful for TikTok. They make, I don't know, it's just like they penalize you if people don't tap the screen. Even if there's a bunch of people watching, it doesn't matter. They don't care. I don't know. I'm not sure why that is, but I do appreciate it when you guys tap the screen. It's definitely helpful, and it shows my videos to more people. And I can thank you guys individually. If I see it pop up on my screen, I'll be able to respond. The majority of my video is not really about talking to you guys as much as it is explaining RF theory to you guys. Like if you guys got questions about RF theory, then we can get into it. But I don't do a lot of personal conversation, stuff like that on TikTok. So, like I said, you guys got questions, feel free to ask. What's up, Caesar? Hope you're doing well. Ernest, thanks for the follow. I appreciate you, man. Thank you very much. You guys are all appreciated. TikTok, I don't know, TikTok's been off and on with me here lately. I do appreciate everybody who follows and stuff. for some reason, Facebook has decided that their algorithms are going to go better for my business. Now, I've been around on Facebook for a lot longer, to be fair. So, hey, what's up, Tom? Hope you're doing well, man. Hope you're in good health. It's been a hot minute since I talked to you, so definitely a pleasure. Appreciate you, man. Mr. Florida Jackrabbit. Have to get you in on roll call some more. Didn't we get you in on one of the roll calls, Tom? I don't know if we heard you on there or not. So right now what I'm doing is what's called a deburr. It's just clearing off the sharp edges from the end of the coax as I rotate this center conductor on. It doesn't throw a bunch of shavings. That's the thing we don't want to happen. Yeah, this is a PL259. Yes, sir, that's correct, Byron. So PL259, or commonly called a UHF connector, even though it has nothing to do with UHF anymore. Awesome. Appreciate you, Kelly. Yeah, I saw he responded. He told me. So that's cool. Thank you very much. I appreciate your interest, and that's really what keeps the RF community going. So definitely is appreciated for sure. So that's always nice. The reason I do these videos and the reason I go to these events and stuff like that is simply to try to hopefully get more people interested in the hobby, because I'd stay busy doing my work without my live videos. And thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate you, Heavy Hall. Appreciate you, man. Like I said, I don't do these videos so that I can I mean, I stay busy regardless. I've got multiple orders today, and I'm grateful for all of them, and I do appreciate all you guys that like what I do and decide to support me and order from me and stuff like that. I thank you very much. But I don't really make these videos for that purpose, because I'm building the stuff anyway. I've got to build this equipment for customers. I do this to hopefully, like I said, if I could, maybe kind of spark some new interest, bring some new people into the hobby. Even if they start small, even if they build something little, even if they find something at a thrift store or whatever, it's really cool, and I really enjoy seeing more people get into the hobby, because it's not really an old person's hobby. There's definitely plenty of young people there, but if I let technology kind of run its course, then it wouldn't. It kind of would be that way. Nothing would change. Everybody would be stuck on their cell phones. Nobody would understand anything about communications. Nobody would understand that they have the ability, if they build the right equipment, to talk to different states, to talk to people from other countries, not have to call them on a cell phone, to literally be able to do it within their own power, within their own equipment. And now there are some other languages spoken on the radio, but the radio is majority English speaking. So even if you're talking to another country, most will speak English there. So don't get too worried and be like, oh, I don't know how to speak Italian or Italian or some Eastern European language or something like that, or whatever. You are still able to talk to these people, and it will be fun and enjoyable. So, like I said, build you a station, have some fun, build something to talk local, build a little Jeep setup to run off into the woods and go mudding or whatever, and take your radio with you. Like, there's all kinds of stuff you could do in the hobby and still enjoy it, and things like that. So, I think the RF field is such an awesome field that more people should know about it, more people should understand it, and utilize it. Like, you have a free form of communication that doesn't cost you a dime. It's your own infrastructure. You can speak on it whenever you want. Nobody gets to tell you when you can and can't speak. Now, of course, there's certain frequencies that's restricted and things like that. All right, we're all done on this one. But of course, there's certain frequencies that's restricted and things like that. But that's not the point. You have frequencies you can operate on, and you can do whatever you want. Now, of course, don't ruin it for everybody else and just be an absolute terror to the radio. But it's very awesome to be able to tell people something like that still exists. And we're not just in some system where the government or some big corporation or some big money something somewhere is what controls whether you can speak to a friend or a family member or somebody in any distance away. Now it's getting popular with something called Meshtastic here lately. So if you guys are not familiar, that's a encrypted way for you guys to message each other back and forth via your cell phone, but that doesn't require the internet. It uses a local area network with a bunch of little mini repeaters, which is kind of what the radio does, to be quite honest, on some frequencies. And then other frequencies have long path propagation, things like that. If you get on 80 meter, you can literally talk to the other side of the country late at night. If you go to 11 meter or 10 meter or even 6 meter, you can use conditions and skip and stuff to talk to other places. And then you can talk to the other side of the planet if conditions allow. So yeah, there's all kinds of stuff you can do. You can also teach your family how to do it and get a whole community together. There's all kinds of stuff you can do. You can drive up and down the road. You can talk on the trucker channel, talk to the 18-wheelers, and you can ask them what's going on with traffic and things like that and figure out what's happening there. Like, there's all kinds of stuff you can get into and enjoy and do. Go on the other side. You can see me over here. But yeah, like, you could use it for emergency response. And then if you really get in a scenario where there's just a lot going on, and stuff is just happening where you can't control it. Let me bump you guys over real quick. Move over here. Oh, hold on a second. What does this do? Let's just bump it over manually. Who cares? All right. Thank you guys for liking the screen. Liking the videos. I do appreciate it. Tapping the screen. It is absolutely appreciated. If you guys have questions, like I said, about this stuff, feel free to ask. It's not going to hurt my feelings to answer, and I'll try to help you guys out and go from there. Thanks for the follow, Danny. Danny, or Donnie? I think it's Danny. But thank you very much. I appreciate it a lot. You can hang on if you watch what I'm doing. You can't hang on if you watch that, okay? All right. So you can see as I hold the heat to this solder, what happens is it will wick in to this shield and bond to this connection. And it's just basically a low heat weld. That's what we're doing here. Making sure we get good contact on this connection here. What's up, Cletus? Hope you're doing well, man. Are we seeing you tonight, Cletus? That is the question. Am I going to hear 11176? And of course, in a lot cooler tone there. All right, next. Nope. Oh, Lord. Pat, thanks for the follow. I do appreciate you very much. Thank you guys on Facebook and YouTube. I appreciate you guys for following and stuff like that whenever you guys do. I wish I could see it. I used to could see it a lot more, but I do appreciate every one of you doing it. So thank you very much. All right. No, you can see right here. That's what you can do. I have a shadow at the moment, so Shadow's checking out how to solder too while you guys are learning also. So we're gonna knock out a little bit of this. In pink. Oh, in the picture. It's because I am. No, just kidding. All right, so let me get this slide up real quick. Give me just a second. I gotta knock this one wire back. There we go. And now we can solder like this. Or maybe you guys can see how to solder. So you'll see I'll add the solder to the source, not really to the iron. Well, take a look and watch closely. Let me see if I can zoom in real quick to help you out. No. Absolutely not. Let me see if that's focused. Wonderful. Good news. Let's zoom on this one real quick. Zoom, 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 zoom. Nice and close. I'm going to try to stay still. We'll see how this works. Watch it knock it off camera as soon as I start soldering. Alright, so I add heat to the tip and I hold it there until it starts to melt. And then what I do from there is I add solder. Now, since it's such a close location, I just put it on the tip, but ideally you're adding it as close to the heated source as possible. Typically, if you have enough room, you're not actually going to put it on the iron. You're going to put it on the source itself. Take a look. You can see how she solders. Wait. Man, very small inclusion right there. You can see that little dip in the end of the solder. And all I do is just heat her back up. Oh no. And add a little bit more solder. And then I gotta make sure whatever I did on that back side right there, I don't have any problems. I wiped it off. Make sure you use a couple layers of napkin or cloth, or else you will burn the doo-doo out of yourself. If I hold that for long periods of time, it would burn me. I'm used to the heat, so it doesn't burn me that bad. Have a great weekend. Appreciate your time. Thank you, Mr. Jackrabbit. Yeah, well, to some guys it is. Just to be quite honest with you, it doesn't matter how many times you tell them. Doesn't matter how many times you're showing them how to solder. There's still touch, remove, touch, remove, touch, remove. There's a bunch of guys out there that just don't have that concept down. And this is not to be disrespectful to anybody who already does have the concept, but to be honest, this kind of type of tutorial video might not be for you. It's for the guys who just don't know. And there's just, like I said, there's some guys that won't get it that easy. They just don't learn that way. So the goal is to bring up your solder, or excuse me, your part to temperature. And you can do that by holding the soldering iron on it. Or if you've got Teflon wire like I've got right here, or really fluoropolymers. I got fluorinated ethylene propylene and then polytetrafluoroethylene. And then I've got some more polytetrafluoroethylene, some silver plated brass right here, and then a silver plated copper jacket. With all that being considered, I can put a lot of heat to this and I won't damage the coax. So what I do is I continue to add a heat until you see it wick in. You see it's nice and bubbled right there. So as you heat more, you'll watch it suck into that joint. Once it sucks into that joint, we know it's got enough temperature. It's hot enough to burn you. It's over 400 degrees. And then what we do is we just add solder to the hole, to the source. As close to that hole as you can, just to kind of get more solder to wick in. The more heat you apply, the better it wicks. If you apply too much heat, of course, it'll wick all the way through to the bottom. So the goal is to find that balance. Don't get too aggressive with it. I'm going to rotate down here. Let me pull you guys down real quick. You guys on Facebook can see, but all right, let's do this. Yeah, I've been soldering for over 20 years myself. So definitely not rocket science for me either. Actually, let me say, what is it? 2008. really 18 years. Been soldering for 18 years myself. Solid 40 hours a week throughout. Thanks again. See you, man. Have a good one. Have a great weekend. Thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate you. Copy. I make it look so easy. The goal is just maintain temperature. That's the biggest key. And then the other key is don't tap and remove your soldering iron over and over again. Just place it and hold it. Don't be scared of your part. If you've got a part that's sensitive to temperature, of course, I probably wouldn't practice on that. I would practice on the other ones until you got better. And then, so it may be in your best interest if you needed a little bit more forgiving wire and you wanted to build a solder appeal 259 to it, just buy some RG400 from me, because then that'll give you the ability to go way higher in temperature without damaging the wire. So you're not going to solder these holes on every coax. Do not do that. Don't be doing this on your RG58 and then asking me why it failed. It's the wrong thing to do. But you can't do that with like 8X or 213. You can do this with 213, but you'd have to manage the heat by a lot more significant margin. RG8X, you're not supposed to do this at all because it's the wrong type of coax to do this with. The only way I can get away with doing this with such a small center conductor wire is because the fact that it can handle such high temperatures. It's rated at 500 degree heat with no problem on the exterior jacket, and even hotter than that on the center conductor. So it doesn't have to, or the center insulator. But there, we're all done. That's all finished and soldered up. We will see if I got another one to do. Yes, I do. I have another one to do over here so you guys can see it. All right, let's do center conductor first because that's what's going to be common on all. Wilson 1000 is going to be RG58 or RG8X, one or the other. Depends on which one it is. I think Wilson 500, I think might be RG58. I think 1000 is almost always going to be RG8X. It's been a long time though. They got bought out back in 2011, so they're not the same company they used to be, so I don't really put anything past them no more. Yeah, you can sit right there and see him. Here. Not up there. Down here. So you see how the center conductor gets nice and soldered into place. We want to bond that. Now, it's at this point it is completely bonded. I don't have to do anything else. But because I'm picky, because I'm a little bit more of a perfectionist when I'm doing this, I will add more solder just to make it look nice and smooth over top. It's not a requirement. It's not nothing that has to be done. For functionality, it's soldered all the way through. There's a little bit of inclusion now that I just wiped that off because I was a little impatient. But as far as overall bonded, it's bonded all the way through. The reason I go again and clean it up is because I like it to look pretty. There's a small one right here. Still got to clear out. It dips just a smidge. And again, this is more vanity than anything else. It's not really anything to do with function or anything like that. It's just me wanting to be picky. See, that's how she looks in the end. You see how it sets up? Yeah. Yeah, thin layer braid is probably just a cheaper 8X or something, most likely. Just some, so that's probably one of the bigger things that's skimped out on when you get a cheaper RG8X or just any sort of cheaper coax that doesn't have any like mil spec that they have to stay behind. What ends up happening is they will run a name that sounds similar to a good name, and they will say 95% instead of 95% shielded. And because of that claim, they're saying 95%. They're not claiming any particular shield coverage. They're just claiming 95%, and they're just hoping you think that they're talking about shield coverage. And when in all reality, they're just saying the number 95%, and there's no specifications that have to be met. If you don't claim a mil standard on the wire, if you don't do any other standards, as far as claims, then you don't have to meet those standards, because there's no, for RG cable, there's no set standard on RG cable anymore. It's been removed for quite some time. So if it says MIL-C-17G, that means it meets the specifications for MIL-C-17G. But if it just says 95%, 95, 14, 400, OEM USA, they didn't say anything. OEM USA is just a cop-out term for made in China, because it makes you think made in USA, but they're not saying that. They're just saying OEM is made to the standards that a USA product would be made. Or that's not even really a claim, because there's no claim behind that, but that's just what you would assume. And then the 95% is not claiming any sort of shield coverage. It's just saying 95% and just hoping you're duped enough to understand. And they say stranded center, but that's not very hard. All you got to do is just put multiple strands in the center to prove that. So not all coax is created equal. Don't buy into stuff just because it looks fancy or something like that. Find something that's good. Ember, thanks for the follow. 606 Playboys, thanks for the follow. I do appreciate you guys. Hope you guys are having a good Saturday. All right, this one's all finished. Now let's go ahead and do the next one. No. Go play. Find another game. I know. Find another game. Board game. All right. Or, no matter, don't matter. So, see what's happening here? I'm getting enough to melt the solder, but it's not working. It's not bonding. It's not pulling into the joint. Why do you think that is? I will tell you. Spoiler alert. It's not hot enough. Your source has to actually come up the temperature to match so that it can wick the solder into place. Otherwise, you'll just melt the solder and it won't bond to anything. So this is why we heat it up, and you can watch and see it wick in like that. See how it's sucked into that joint? That's what we're trying to do. And then from there, I wish it would focus a little bit better for you guys, but it is what it is. I try to help you guys out as much as I can so you guys can understand how to solder. This soldering goes for RC cars. This would go for FPV drones. This soldering would go for fixing your cell phone. The solder would go for... These are soldering skills you can use in any part of your life, whether you deal with electronics, whether you deal with anything that has any sort of circuit board in it, whether you deal with batteries. That, like, a lot of times you have to solder connections for batteries. Copy that, Happy Camper. Good luck, man. You're not going to solder these holes. You're just going to solder that center conductor. That's all you're going to do, especially with that wire that you're doing. So don't copy what I did with these holes. Just all you're doing is you're going to use this back reducer to bite into the body of the connector if you're using this type of PL259. If you're using a crimp on, then of course you'll crimp on the shield instead. Let me see if I can get you guys back in a better shot on TikTok. Facebook's got a good shot no matter what, because I can't zoom in that close. But yeah, you can use soldering skills everywhere. If you want to understand how to work a circuit board, how to repair something, this is where you start. You have to know how to solder. If you want to fix your old Xbox, if you want to fix your PlayStation, if you want to fix any piece of electronics, if you want to, like, these are common things you're going to do if you go down to board level repair. Now, if you don't do board level repair, sure, you can be a part swapper. You can grab a part off of one game console and put it on another game console. But you can get into more advanced forms of soldering called, it's called a BGA reballing technique, which is pulling a whole CPU off and putting a whole new CPU back on with the pins that are on the bottom of the IC. You can learn how to hot air solder if you understand how solder actually works and how it bonds to the source. Because then you'll understand why they use hot plates and things like that. What's up, Brent? I hope you're doing well, man. Thank you for hanging out over there on YouTube land. Crimp on PL259s are okay. There's a bunch of different connections you can go for. Your smartest thing to do on any connector, if you're really wanting to get it more advanced into stuff, is to do what's called a PIM test on it. That would be something that would be more ideal. If you can't do that, then just put whatever connector on you want, because the attenuation and the loss on terminations is going to be fairly minimal. So insertion loss is not really much of a thing. So especially when you're talking about a cable that's kind of lossy to begin with, like for RGA decks and stuff like that. So I wouldn't get too wrapped up in it. But yeah, there's some RG400. It's all finished up right here. This is good for jumpers and things like that. That bigger coax you seen earlier would be good for main feed lines and stuff. Elio, I don't know how to say it. Elio PWY2WC. Hello, hello. Waving a hand, man. Hope you're doing well. This entire order, let me take a look real quick. As best I can tell, this whole order is, dun, da, 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 drum roll, please. Let me look at the ticket. I'm looking at it now. That's done. That's done. That's done. That's done. And that's done. And everything is done except for this customer ordered some standoff boards. That will be a little bit later. I'll have to look and see what he's talking about specifically. I'll call him up and see if that how that works out. He ordered some of the standard stuff I do, but I'll have to kind of figure out exactly what he wants me to do to make it custom to him. But I'll call him about that at some point in time. But he is essentially, for all intents and purposes, finished. So let's zoom out and let's work on some other pieces of electronics. We're going to go into a RF measuring device. That's what we're going to go into next. And you guys will see how that looks. Give me just a moment and I'll throw it up on here and let you guys see how it looks like. All right, that whole order is over there getting ready to be packed. I'm not probably not do any packing today because today is a Saturday and today is not a day I'm going to be doing that. Woo! Look at my whole bench is dusty. All right, so this is what's called a Bird RF watcher. This has a function in it to allow you to shut down your system. So you can essentially run it in line and shut down whatever you have with what this thing has in it, built in. So I need to check and see. I think I made a mistake. Did I finish this? I did not finish this. That's unfortunate. All right, I have a schematic for this, so it's not a big deal, or excuse me, a board layout kind of thing for this. So what I'm gonna do is I'll show you guys this and let you guys look inside there and see all the goodies. It's not super complicated. It's more, it looks a little bit more like point-to-point soldering the way it's set up, which was done back probably at the latest, the mid-80s, but typically around the 70s and stuff. When they did point-to-point, they didn't actually do a lot of PCB work. This, even nowadays, wouldn't be really a lot of PCB work anyway. Maybe it would, I guess. You'd have a little PIM jumper and set up. What's up, Freddie? Thanks for the follow. JH9, thanks for the follow. I do appreciate you guys. Give me just a second. Let me pull up this user manual. My breath is not the best. I'll be slobbering on that. I have a nice little microfiber right here that does a really good job at cleaning up dust. That is something that is prevalent in my shop. Something that's, I'm pretty sure it's always going to be a bit of a fight in my shop to fight the dust, because I got old stuff and new stuff and all kinds of stuff like that. Brian, thanks for following. Don, I am working on a RF wattmeter. I'm retrofitting it for a custom remoted sample line. And what I've got to do is I need to look up a part. I've got a manual, but I got to get pulled up real quick, and I will show you guys how this works. So let's go to right here. Service and user manual. So let's get this thing opened up. There we go. I got it. So now We have a pinout right here. You guys can't really see. Maybe you can. I can get it to focus. So it tells me all the pinout of the 13 pins. You guys over there will show me all the pinout of these 13 pins. So I'm looking at this terminal strip on the back, but I'm actually going to be looking at it on the inside because I'm going to do an internal retrofit rather than something external. So I need, okay, 1 and 2, and then I need 1 and 3, no, 2 and 3. 1 and 2, and then 2 and 3. 1 and 2 together, and then 2 and 3 together. I could technically run direct leads off of this, but I just don't really want to, because I like to do stuff that's nice, and it's kind of put my name behind this stuff. So, hey, let's do it. Oh, just to give you guys an idea, something that's very cool about this. This has a warranty void after April of 1987. So that shows you how long this thing has been around. That's a fairly simple operation. It's not too complicated. It measures forward output over here. It measures reflected output over here. Once this red line is exceeded on reflected output, what it will do is follow you already on Facebook and thought I followed you here. Hey, well, thanks for following me anyway. Appreciate it. Once it hits this limit right here, what's going to happen is it will disengage the pass-through. So you can put a foot pedal on a pass-through, which would allow it to interlock that foot pedal. You can also put other things on an interlock, like a contactor and things like that. So once it went over that threshold right there, what it would end up doing is it would shut down the transmitter. So very cool feature, cool operation. The cool thing is, I didn't get to show you guys too much, but this little digital meter right here actually does the same thing. So we can actually go into the functionality. Now, I doubt he's going to want you to hook it up on your contactor to be an actual safety device, but in line with a foot pedal would be pretty cool on this interlock, the way it's set up. So it would disable the foot pedal just the same. That's the way, it's just a much newer version of doing this. Melita, thank you, KJ5 NDH, thank you, appreciate that. What's up, guys? All right, so again, 1 to 2 and 2 to 3. Those are the 2 pins that I'm going to be using. I need to see if I've got enough lead length. I've got a bunch of prepped cables, which would be wonderful to use. But if they will not work, then so be it. So that's 1 right here, maybe. And then let's see if I did another one right here. I could do 1 here and 1 here. That would work. So should I do it like that? What do you guys think? So this would be forward here. So I'd want to do them this way. So let me look actually and see. Yeah, forward right here, reflected right here. That way they would be isolated and separated from one another. But I could also just do a longer one right here. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to run just a longer cable over to this way. And then the reflected power will be over there. So this is what I'm going to be working on for the next little bit. It's as much as I hate to say it, I really appreciate each and every one of you. I am not leaving nor going anywhere. But just to be quite honest, this stuff is sometimes boring. Hope you guys like it. Hope you guys are enjoying it. But if you get bored, then I apologize. But it's just sometimes this is part of the process. So I know what I've got to do. I've got to cut and measure off a cable real quick. So this cable is going to go over here. I measured all the way over there. Now I'm doing something a little bit overkill with this RG400 right here. I absolutely could use another cable. Pigpen 808, waving a hand, man. Hope you're doing well. What was I saying? This is entirely overkill. It really shouldn't have to be this nice of a cable. But hey, it is what it is. I'm going to do it that way, and that's just how it's going to be. I probably should have made that just a smidge longer, but I think I will be fine. I'm going in between here and in between there, and that's my 2 connections, and that'll be just fine. So I'll cut I'll cut the other one to match. It is no. Look. Who cares? I'll make it a smidge longer. I've got about 1,000 foot of this cable on the spool. I can stand to waste a couple of dollars to do this the way I want it. Make it just a smidge like that. That's a little better. So now I got the length that I want. All right. If you guys got questions, hey, thank you very much. Appreciate all you guys liking it, man. You got 5,100 of you guys like my video. Thank you very much. That is very much appreciated. I appreciate all you guys for that. Thanks very much. All right, so let's do a little bit of cutting, and let's show you how I can work with this braid right here. So I probably could do this a little bit shorter, but hey, it's not the end of the world. I think I'm gonna try to do something just a smidge lazy on the inside of here, just because it's all throughout here on the inside of this point-to-point soldering. So I'm gonna try to keep with the style, even though I could probably make it just a smidge nicer if I went outside of that style. I think I'll keep with the style just because I can. So let me see a pick real quick. That is not a pick. Let me grab this real quick. So pick is right here. Let me change my brightness just a smidge for you guys over there on Facebook so you can see a little bit better. And let's try this out. So what we do is we start at the very end of this braid. It's a double braided shield. So I have to get through both braids. Now I could do one at a time and go through the exterior braid and then go to the interior braid after that. And sure, that would work, but so far I've figured out that this right here works pretty well. Maybe not perfect, but I've been pretty satisfied with it. All right, let's talk, guys. You got nobody asked me any questions here lately, so what do you guys got? Anybody who would like to know about RF theory? I had somebody ask about SWR earlier. Would you guys like to know about that? If you guys don't answer, then I will just continue on a conversation I had with another gentleman earlier. Maybe you guys appreciate just listening, but I kind of like the interactiveness. If you guys got RF questions, I don't mind pivoting my conversation to something different. It's not a one-way street. You guys can communicate. That's the cool thing about lives. It's not some pre-recorded video you have to watch and just figure out what they have to say. You can participate. All right, we'll continue. I don't see any more questions, so I'll go forward. So a fella asked me a question earlier. He was asking about the digital meter, and he says, does that digital meter read SWR? And the answer is technically no, but the answer is also very much so yes, if you understand what you're reading. So SWR is just a measure. It's just a standing wave ratio. It's a measure of how much reflected power you have coming back to your system versus how much output power you have going out to the antenna. So that's what SWR is. It's a ratio. It's your source impedance to your load impedance. I'm being a little bit aggressive with this braid because it really doesn't matter, and I'm way overkill with what I'm using right here. But whatever, it is what it is. So if you knew, say you had 1,000 watts going out, whether that was ideally, let's just say it's average, even though most guys would talk about peak. Let's just say it's average, just for argument's sake. You had 1,000 watts average going out. If you had 100 watts average coming back, that would mean that you would have, at that point, a 2-to-1 SWR, because you would have, well, it's technically 11%, but whatever. You would have over 10%, or excuse me, you would have technically 1.9 SWR, or 1.9 something, but you would have 10% of your power returning back to your system. So you've already measured SWR because you know how much power is coming back versus how much power is going out. Let me bump this over just a smidge, wrong way. What in the world? Why do you go there we go. Thank you very much. Come back over here. If you have, say, 30 watts coming back and you have 1,000 watts going out, that is 3% reflected power. That means you have a 1.5 to 1 SWR. So just knowing how many watts are going out versus how many watts are coming back, you already understand what your SWR is. So that's something for you to know. All right. So cool little simple functionality for understanding how much power you've got going out versus how much is coming back. You can actually calculate SWR for yourself. Da, 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 da. Surprise, surprise. So from here, I'm probably going to see, and this is going to be for the output. It's going to be pin 2, pin 1, so I'll do it that way. That'll be fine. So I'm going to cut this a little shorter just because the connection that needs to be longer is going to be the hot connection. Now, I just had something happen that's kind of annoying, and this is what happens when you cut random things with your cutting tool. I've got several grooves cut in my cutting tool that you guys can't really see too much, but those grooves are causing me a little bit of a heartache. So if I resharpened it and kind of fixed it, that would be better for me. But because I'm still going to be cutting large things with it, it is what it is, and I'll just use a different tool for the cutting portion, even though that one's on there. So this is ready. All we're going to do is apply some solder to it, and then we will get to work. 10 mil strands later. Yeah, I know, right? It's a bunch of strands on here. Yeah, it's when you're dealing with a double braided shield, it's a lot more of a pain in the neck, just to be quite honest. As much as I'd like to say that it doesn't take effort, it does. You got to learn how to deal with that braid pretty good. So luckily, I feel like I've gotten pretty good with it, and it works out pretty well for me. Now I could go inside this unit and open it up a little bit more and work with this a little bit better, but I think if I'm smart about this, I'll be fine. So let me take a look real quick. Let me just track something down just because I can. Just because I think I figured something out that I remembered last time. Let me take a look. You going over to here. We're using the little bit of light that I've got in here to be able to see what's going on here. This goes to here, this runs to there, this runs to there. Okay, this just runs straight to it. So we're going to cheat a little bit, and we're going to go directly to the source right over here and to this source right over here. And we're going to hit each one of these connections right there. The upper one is going to be for the interlock right here. The lower one's going to be for that. So as much as I just spent time with that, I don't think I'm going to need it. Let's take a look real quick. Let's see what happens right here. Yep, that's enough. All right, so we're going to go directly again to the source like I was just saying just a moment ago. Give me a second. Let's cut through all these strands. See, that's what happens when you have the right tool for the job. Wee. Don't be stupid and try to collect your stuff, because those small ends will end up in your fingers like it just did with me. I deal with this stuff all the time, so it's not that much of a bother to me, but to you guys, If you guys don't want to have fine little strands of metal in your fingers, use a rag and just wipe it away. Don't try to. Have been doing something a little bit weird here lately. Just to let you guys understand how much of a mega pack rat I am. I've got, every time I cut my material and stuff like that, if it's metal, I just cut it and throw it into a bin. Whether that has any future benefit for me, who knows. Kind of like the jeweler who slowly collects gold dust, but their gold dust is worth a lot more than my silver plating and my copper strands. But hey, a man can dream, can he? All right, this is all ready. So now what I need to do is I've got two connections right here. Let's go ahead and put those on. I think I should do it this way. I don't know. 1, 2, 3, and 4, because I'm doing 2 of these real quick. It's braid. Already on there. We're good. All right. There's so much old stock at my radio shop. Someday I'll get around to surplusing it. Hey man, shoot, I'm an RF supply company, so if you got stuff you need to sell, then I might be the buyer. Depends. I mean, of course, I got to resell it, but still, hey, whatever. All right, so now, because I'm doing it this way, no, I'm just going to do it this way. It is what it is. I'm a little OCD, so I really like to heat shrink and cover all my connections up, but it messes up with the theme inside here. Everything on these connections on this thing is all just straight open shield, and it would just look, I don't know, it would look kind of dumb not following that theme. So let me grab some tools real quick. Where is my, there it is. This is not the only one I use, but this is just another one to grab. Just a little terminal kit. I don't really have a preference on which one that I grab, because I've got a whole nother one on the wall over there. I suppose I should just grab the one that's the easiest to reach, to be quite honest with you. Did I use them all already? Looks like I used them all. Give me just a second and I'll change out some other ones. All right, insulated. I need number 8, I think. Where's my number 8 insulated? Way up there, maybe. Ooh. This is number 8. Might be a little small. See if it's the right size. Very close, but no cigar. So this is number 8's what goes on my other ones. Number 10's what I need on these. Where's number 10? Number 10. Do I have number 10 blue? Number 8 yellow, number 8 yellow, number 8, number 10. Whatever, number 10 non-insulated. We'll just deal with it. I need 1, 2, 3, and 4 of these. Covers all those. This is a RF measuring device. It's upside down right there. I'll show you guys what it looks like normally. It measures output power and reflected power. So let's get back to work. But yeah, it's an RF measuring device. It measures how much power is going out versus how much power is returning. And as long as you know those two measurements, you understand what kind of damage you could do to your equipment, or you understand how efficient your equipment is operating. So there's a few different things you can do there. Now it doesn't tell you forward gain and other important factors that are nice to know when you're building something, but still very, very useful nonetheless. You could also, if you really wanted to, I could use this same device to measure how many watts are coming out and how much reflected power you have coming out of your Wi-Fi router. I could also use it to measure how much power is coming out of a cell phone antenna. Like, there's all kinds of crazy stuff you could measure, as long as you knew how to hook it up. All right, so I need 2 more of these braids real quick. Might as well just go ahead and get prepared for that, since I'm gonna need them. That's 1, 2 right there. And I've got several more. Where are they at? I got 1 right here. But I know I got more. Ah, they're hiding underneath here. I'll put them on. 1, 2. Set those over there. Yeah, I don't need no more. Just these. All right. So we're just cutting these to where they're even right here. And I'm dumping my trash in my little trash bin right down there so it don't end up all over me. Give me just a second to cut them all even, and that will be done. 1 more to cut. It's kind of annoying. All right. Wrap that. I need to do this 2 more times. 1 right here. Push that down a smidge. Lock her down. 1 more. I could zoom in. What am I currently making? Let me turn it around. We just got a Teledyne wattmeter, no more slugs. Yeah, Teledyne's nice. There's, are you talking about the LP100A? Yes. The LP series wattmeter uses a directional coupler, and it measures a specific output. Goes down to a fairly low scale, and then some of the other equipment that they offer, or some other features that some of their nicer meters will offer, will go into a few more operations of measurement because of the fact it runs a directional coupler. It uses the RF voltage and the RF current to kind of factor in several other key features. It can demodulate it and put it into a oscilloscope. It can also put it on a little FFT, Fourier, Fourier transformer or whatever, frequency Fourier transformer. I can't remember what FFT is at the moment. Let me finish stripping this though. Did I drink enough water today? I don't know. I'm not sure if I drank enough water today. I should drink enough water as the, what do you call it? Those speakers that speak at events and stuff like that, how they have to constantly suck down some water. Kind of understand that when you get dry mouth from talking a lot. It doesn't happen too much to me, but unfortunately I do have to, in a particular field like this, I have to talk a lot. Let's pass my little puzzle on TikTok. I gotta pass the hardest puzzle in the world to stay live. And, whoa, no, I didn't pass it. I got 3 minutes to pass it. If anybody has ever went live for more than an hour, you know what I'm talking about. Copy that. It could be, for sure. This particular device could measure up to 1,000,000 watts. Oh, no, excuse me. This one could measure up to 250,000 watts if you get the right element to measure. It can measure as little as, on this particular scale, I think 1,000 watts would be about as low as it could go. Maybe it could go down to about 100 watts accurately on the scale. But if you want to go any lower than that, you have to go to a different type of meter. I've got another one up there that can go down to 100 milliwatts. All right, let's go ahead and solder these real quick. This bench mat can handle quite a bit of temperature, so I don't have to worry too much about it. So we're gonna go ahead and just solder it directly on the mat, and then we'll move on to the next step. Electronic one for our system needs. Hey, all power to you. There's nothing wrong with that. I've got lots of test equipment, so I'm not really the one to talk to about using less test equipment. I guess for TikTok land, I guys can show you guys what all's going on. So we got more bird meters. I've got another bird meter right there, another digital bird meter, an average power reading bird meter, a site master right there, a signal generator right there, transmitter tester right there, a VNA right there, another VNA right there, another VNA over there, an Apache Labs and Non right there, another communications test set over there, and another transmitter tester over there, and then another spectrum analyzer, that black thing behind there. So yeah, I'm not necessarily the best one to talk about using less pieces of equipment. I'm just I'm just that type of guy. For the guys that didn't see on Facebook, bird meter, digital bird meter, average reading bird meter, spectrum analyzer back behind there, that rack mount right there. That's another bird rack setup, another bird rack setup, another bird rack setup, another bird rack setup. Some HF equipment up high, and then that's a site master right there. That's a signal generator, a transmitter tester, a VNA, another VNA, where's my hand at? Another VNA right there, a little mini amplifier right there, Apache Labs and Non right there, communications test set right there, and another transmitter tester over there. So all sorts of goodies. So thank you, Plasma Zombie. I appreciate you. All right, so sometimes I don't get the new, to be honest, the new age humor as much, and I'm not that old, but there's some of the humor I just don't understand it. I might be the butt end of the joke, and that'll be all right with me, because I gotta build this stuff and do this work anyway. All right. Alright, so what we're doing is we're just going ahead and soldering this connection just because it can, and I've got the ability to do so, so I might as well go ahead and do it. Probably not the smartest way to do it, but I just did it that way anyway. It is what it is. Next, let's go ahead and solder this just because I can. That burn spot on my mat is not from this. It's from me applying a torch directly to my mat like a dummy. Alrighty. Next, let's do this one. Don't do this on your regular cloth mat or something at home. It's not that wouldn't be the best thing for you to do. Let's just say it that way. Thank you guys for liking the video, man. It's 5,400 of you guys tapped the screen. I do appreciate it. There's a bunch more guys that was in here earlier. I appreciate all you guys. Give you guys something to doom scroll on, I guess. Maybe stop and stay for a while and see some stuff about RF stuff. I appreciate all you guys. Thank you very, very much. I'm still got to do this work regardless of whether you guys hang out or not, so I figured I'd say at least thank you. I don't think a lot of people that make these videos appreciate. I don't know. Maybe they do. Maybe they're not as bad as I'm thinking, but it seems like some of these people out there just take all the views and all the people watching their videos for granted, and that I don't think that's the thing I should do as an individual, as a business, as anything. I don't think I should appreciate all you guys, and I really try to be honest. Even the guys that talk that are, I don't know, kind of weird with the way they talk, or other guys that are just don't understand what they're seeing. Even the rude ones that just say that, oh yeah, this, whatever. I appreciate all of them because it's more engagement, it's more people seeing what's going on. It's more of a chance of more people getting into the hobby, even if it's just to prove me wrong. That's fine. That don't hurt my feelings none. Get into the hobby and prove me wrong. That won't hurt my feelings at all. I want you guys to get it. I want to encourage anybody to get into the RF field because it is a way for you to build your own communications network without having to worry about whether or not somebody else can tell you you can or cannot do this. You can do it all on your own, and it's, at least in every country I know of, completely legal to do that. I've been doing RF stuff for quite a long time. So whether you want to call that a tech or not, I've done lots of coax harnesses. I've done lots of feed lines, cut the velocity factor. I can do PIM testing. I can do phase matching on cables. I can do, I don't know. There's all sorts of stuff I can do and have done before. Custom split feeds, custom terminations. So to some degree, yes, but I'm not sure in what field, whether I've had a job in your particular field. I don't know. Not sure. But I've worked for a lot of guys, more along through my own company. My own company is what kind of has started this, which is my RF supply. I've had guys order from airports, order from hobbyist guys, guys who just operate and just enjoy the RF community themselves. I don't know. I do all that stuff. What am I doing here? Let's line this up, see if I can get to this. Now I can actually pull 1, 2, 3, 4 screws off of this and drop this whole face down. But I really don't want to be quite honest with you. I want to try to do this with what I've got available. Just because, one, it's not that hard, and two, let me hold this on the back side. Can I reach in there and hold that? I don't know. Sorry, I'm a little bit focused right here. I gotta get in here. My arm's in the way, but you guys can mostly see what I'm doing. I'm just taking this lead loose. No, I never maintained anything. Worked for Motorola. So hang on a second. Hold up here. Let's see what we got. See a line. It's good and bad. Nice. Thanks for the follow, Jeremy. Appreciate you, man. You'll never be without work. Oh, yeah. Oh, I know what you're saying. Worked for Motorola Solutions for 10 years, and the last 6 years working for a government entity. That's cool. Maintaining the P25 system. Yeah, I've sold some P25 equipment. These new meters right here, I've actually got a couple guys running them on some P25s. So this is a digital meter right here, so it can go average or it can go PEP mode. So in comparison to the, thanks Ronald, appreciate you, man, very much. No, Plasma, they are not going to take 500 kW. Even this right here, this connector wouldn't take 500 kW. This would explode if you tried to put 500 kW through it. It would probably take about 200 or so kW peak or so, maybe 100 kW average, depending on if you're at ATF frequency or if you're above. The higher in frequency you go, the lower in power handling it does. If you get into some of the largest government systems, like some VLF systems over in, I think it's Bangor, Maine, I believe is what it's at. They have a 2 megawatt transmitter over there, and their coax tunnels are in the neighborhood of about 6 foot tall. It's literally just copper lined for the shield, and then The center conductor itself is a solid piece of copper that's like, I forgot what it was. It was like a foot around, I think is what it was for just the center conductor itself. It was absolutely massive. But hey, when you need to distinguish a ship between, or make a distinction between a ship and a wave, then you have to understand how that VLF system's going to work. And I think it's really neat how that stuff works. All right, so NCYC 50. Thank you. Appreciate you liking liking whatever that was. Thank you very much. All right, back to threading this. So when you're in tight spaces, you gotta kind of work with this stuff. Okay, cool. There we go. So let's slide this other one back on. Let's go ahead and try to put this at a better angle so I can work with it. Something like that. I need something else that's got some height to it. Let's see if that'll work. Yeah, that'll work. So now I'm going to get center conductor soldered in here real quick. I got to get at a very specific angle to be able to line this up, so bear with me for a minute. Yeah, so far I've shipped to Australia some high voltage wire, and I have shipped to some meters to Malta, to the airport over there. I've built some, of course, coax for local airports. I've done stuff for hobbyists and community guys alike. Like I also wholesale wire and things like that. So if anybody needs large quantities of cable and stuff like that, I do that also for feedline or for jumpers. It doesn't really matter. I don't care. Whatever you want to use it for. All right, center conductor soldered. All right, so now let's go ahead and line this other one up with my needle nose. So we're going to go a little further just because I'm going to make my life easy. I'm going to take these screws out on the bottom side of this, and that way I can access the bottom. That way I can line that up. It's not much extra work. It's only 4 screws, and it'll be fine. Won't hurt me none to do that. So you guys will be able to see a little bit better too also. Where's my flathead at? Right there. So I'll do that. Hey bro, I got a message about an old open so you guys will see a little bit better. See a little better too. Ow. Hey Doc, Dave, man, I was just sending a message. I believe I know which order yours was. You said you'd went to the hospital and had some other stuff going on, but I had an old invoice that you was wanting to get quoted on, and if it's something you wanted to pass on, feel free to just tell me, and then I'll go ahead and cancel the invoice, and we'll build another one for you later. But I was just clearing out old invoices is all it was. You're good. If you wanted to do it, then just let me know, and then I will edit the invoice for now, for today's date, or whatever, next week's date, whenever you're ready, and then just reset up the invoice. So that's all it is. I just need to clear out a bunch of invoices I got. I don't know, pretty large amount of money in invoices right now sitting out, just open, and rather than just leaving a bunch of invoices open, I just cancel them so I don't have to worry about them sitting there. Not like it's a big deal or nothing. It's just cleaning up. There we go. Now I can get to the bottom of this and line that up just a little bit better than I could from the top. Let me bump this camera up so you guys can see what I'm doing. So you can see all the way through. Hello, hello on the side. And Facebook saw the whole time. So I'll bump you up just a smidge on Facebook so you guys can see what we're doing all the way. All right, so now center conductor soldered and we're bonded all the way through. So now I need to find the correct size for this. This is going to be too long, of course. I already know that, but I need to figure out what size. This is 10 millimeters, what it is. I'm pretty dang positive. So give me just a second. Let me go ahead and grab a 10 millimeter on my little swivel socket. I have got a little over an hour to play with. So I'm going to try to get as much stuff accomplished in that time period as possible. Let's see if this lines up. This is 3/8. It's a little bit smaller than 10 millimeter. So we'll see how it lines up on this connection. It's a little bit loose, but that should be fine for what I'm doing right here. So first thing I need to do is send you a radio. Yeah, you wouldn't send it to me specifically through my RF supply, but just like I said, send me a message anytime and I can discuss how to help you with that, Doc. Ain't no big deal. Hang on a second. I need to change everything about my feed line, so it's going to be different, but yes, I need to set. Ain't no problem. I'll just cancel that. Ain't no big deal. Had a nice mix of bird elements over there. Yeah, I got quite a few. I've got a row of these, row of those, row of these. Sample ones. I've got, I don't know, all frequency. I got some APMs. I've got some samples. I've got some DPMs. I got 400 to 960. I got some 400 to 1000. I got some 25 to 60. I got some 2 to 30. I got a bunch more. I'll give you a nice one right there. Check this one out. I bet you a lot of people didn't know this existed. Give me just a second. Where are we on? That's for TikTok. See you, Doc. Appreciate you, man. I've got stuff to get busy on. Yeah, ain't no problem, man. Appreciate you. Dun, 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 dun. Just a couple watts, right? Tell that to focus. What do you guys think? It's just a couple watts? It'll do a few, right? Bet you a lot of guys didn't know that existed. There's you another one right there. That's another one that exists. And then we can go to the opposite end of the spectrum and check this booger out. For TikTok guys, 100 milliwatts right there. And then for Facebook guys, it won't focus automatically for whatever reason. I can't get it to whatever. It's just 100 milliwatts. That ain't nothing special. All right. Where did I have it at though? Put it back right there for now. No, it wasn't over there. I don't know where it was at. All right. Yeah, it'll surprise a lot of guys. They're like, what the heck? I didn't know that even existed. But you got to measure all sorts of stuff in military, in commercial, in residential, whatever. User. What's up, Terry? Waving a hand, man. All right. Yeah, what's wild though is when you get up from 4 to the crazier number is this right here, Terry. This is 80 kW at 40 to 1000 megahertz, 400 to 1000 megahertz. That is ridiculous. To have that much at that high of a frequency is way crazier than running 100 at low frequency. Now, we're talking about like crazy systems anyway. Bet you'd love the two 1955 Heathkits TX100s I picked up the other day. Yeah, the Heathkits are all cool, man, for sure. Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate you following for sure. Bird considered the best meter you can depend on. Yeah, Bird is very, very reliable. They're a very rugged meter. They are not necessarily your highest power, or excuse me, highest accuracy meter, but they are extremely rugged. They're designed for lots of applications where other meters just wouldn't survive. And they're just excellent overall. So super duper happy with Bird. Excellent company, and I like them a lot. Don't bump that too much. And then the cool thing is, like, say even if this bird like took a fall right now, it would most likely be just fine. If I got one of my VNAs over there or something like that and let them take the same fall, there's a good chance I'd have to buy a new VNA. So just because they both can read SWR doesn't necessarily mean they can both handle the same abuse. Let's just say it that way. All right. That short well's coming in handy. So now we got to do our next one. This is going to line up over there with no problems and have no issues. So let's go ahead and do our other one. That's going to be right here. I've already got our lead on it, so let's go ahead and put it on it. So let's take it loose. I think from this side might be a little bit easier. We'll see. It's tightening. Let's loosen it. Let's go the other way. Where'd you get your slug holder in the background? So yeah, they're actually. So this right here was made by a fellow named Cletus. He made he has a company. He did a laser cut right there, and he cut each one of these slug holes. This over here is a 3D printed setup by a fellow named, what the heck was his name? Josh, I'm making sure I get his name right. Frazetta, I think I've tagged him a few times. You guys can go back and check through my post. I've thanked him for it, and he has commented directly. So if you wanted one of those, you can get one of those from him. These fit a little bit smoother and snugger. Cletus had built these, but he didn't want the tabs getting messed up, so he made it a little bit bigger. You could always throw an insert in on that one, and it would fit snug like this one would. Also, these right here, on this red one right here that Cletus had made for me, I think it's CD Designs is his company. You could, these seat all the way down flush. These don't seat all the way down flush. They sit down on that edge right there, which both setups are completely fine. This is designed to be nice and tight and doesn't have any movement at all. That's great. These right here will move and flop in the holder. So it just depends on what kind of style you like. Both are excellent and made well. I'm just showing people the different slug holders for you guys to see right there. Yes, Cletus built this one right here. And Cletus also built this one right here. So these have a little bit more movement. I don't know if he's building these anymore. That one actually lights up back on the background and picks with the color of my choosing. These right here, these black ones, are done with carbon fiber filament on a 3D printer. And that was done by a fellow named Josh Frazetta. I don't know if he has a company name, but he's been great too. I like his. He did a good job. I need kind of a combination of both Cletus and Josh just to be able to handle my small bird collection. I have just a few bird meters. Hey, what's up, Jose? Hey, Jose, I will show you a picture. Hang on just a second, Jose. I'm going to leave this sitting right here. This is kind of dangerous, but give me just a second. Here is another triple setup that I'm doing for another gentleman right here. This is a triple digital meter setup. It's got some digital movements inside here. It'll have the hood right on top. Lines up like this. This is kind of like the modern version of what that other meter is. These will read average, they'll read peak, they'll read 2x, and they'll read 4 times. But that's a cool little setup I'm building for a guy. To give you a smaller example of what it looks like lit up, I don't have that one finished, so this is a small one right here. That's what it looks like. That's a single meter version right there. Then, of course, I have put those in the original bird housings, so you can get one of these right here and put a digital movement in there or leave it analog, whichever one you want to do. I'm liking the digital though, for sure. Alrighty, guys. So we're trying to get this off of here so I can put this shield on here. I'm going to poke it through on the other side. I think it's going to be the best choice. Yeah, let's just do it. It's fun. Okay. Just tighten that up just a smidge. I don't want to have to deal with it too much. It don't have to be perfect, but I want it pretty good. All right. Line this up, put this through, and there we go. That'll be set up there. Now, we're soldering the center conductor right now. Give me just a second. I want this thing bond all the way through. There we go. We are through and bonded. Now, move on to the shield. Cletus! Yeah, so I was showing them the digital birds, or not the digital birds. I was showing them the slug holders. I showed them your red one, and I showed them your old school wood one right there. Cletus is making a bunch of different ones, so if you wanted to get with him, I think he has a website now. Cletus, what's your website? No, hang on, I might get in trouble for that. PM those guys your website, because I think it gets me in trouble if I do website stuff on TikTok. For some reason, I don't know why. TikTok just doesn't like it. But yeah, check with Cletus, guys. He's got his stuff he's making over there for you guys who may want some bird attachments or some accessories for bird stuff. He's even got some free band radio stuff for like your 10 meter guys, 11 meter guys that want some radio brackets and stuff. He's been building those. All right, so I need to bend this downward and keep this away from there, and that'll cover that. All right, that's finished. Now let's turn this around to the other side so you guys can see what's going on over there. That is such a teeter-totter. I don't like that. Maybe I can... I don't like that at all either. Maybe give it a little bit more support. I don't know if I like that at all either, to be honest. Thank you, Jose. I appreciate you, man. Absolutely. Thanks for hanging out. All right, so we're going to go. I don't normally do Saturday work, so you guys are not going to see me out here next Saturday. I'll just be honest with you. You're not going to see me again. I'm usually live Monday, Tuesday, and Thursdays. Here lately, I have not been live Monday, Tuesday, or Thursdays. I've been trying to stay busy, and it's kind of hard, just to be quite honest with you, to get everything done. All right, so let's do a punch. Let's set this up. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm probably going to try to make it perfect, which is annoying, and it's just me. I can't do it all the way over there, but I'm going to do it a little further this way. Like this, I think is what, yeah, for sure, I'm going to do right here. Well, the reason I'm doing that is because if you look at the front, I'm very close to centered on the front meter. So the front meter is way over there. I don't want to run it way up here where it's out of center with the meter. Not that it matters, it's just, I don't know, me trying to make it as close to centered as I can. I can't do the rest because the data tag's in the way. This one right here, I'm gonna, something like this. But here's where I've got to get irritatingly particular. Not that particular, just enough to be irritating, for me at least, because I'm in a hurry. Only 2 wood ones will ever be made. Copy that. Florin, thank you very much. Sorry, 2 wood ones. I thought you made more than 2 wood ones. All right, whatever. Copy. Thank you very much for making the 2 wood ones. So I've got one of the 2 only wood ones that Cletus has built. Thank you very much. Sorry, you got me confused over there, but I think he made beads for the public, possibly. But I thought you had some of your own. Maybe you scrapped them or something. I don't know. Dead on 20 mil. So from here, scrape that right there, and that'll be fine. So at 20 mil, I'll just have that marked for the next one. $20 mil for the next. All right, so now I'm going to start by drilling these out. Fancy little drill. This is going to be annoying and drop a lot of shavings. So what I'm going to do is rotate it, set it flat on the bench, and then let all the shavings fall into a little box, hopefully. That's what we're going to be shooting for, at least. We'll see whether or not we can make that happen. Wait. All right, so oh my gosh. Okay. Let us. This is my shaving box, just nothing but shavings. So what we're gonna do, so I'll try to drill into here and let all the shavings hopefully fall into my box. Now that that's started, I'm going to cheat a little bit and speed up my timeline because I got a sharper bit right here. Thanks for the follow, Florin. Appreciate you, man. I think I said that already, but definitely do appreciate it. You guys that are hanging out on Facebook and YouTube, thank you very much for hanging out. I wish I could talk to you guys more, but you guys are not. Sometimes TikTok's just a little bit more talkative than you guys. Facebook, it's off and on. Facebook is definitely, I get significantly more people that see my videos, but that's because I have a larger following on Facebook. And then also the guys on Facebook will comment on my videos later. The problem with TikTok is you guys can't see my lives later on. So the only way you see me is if you follow me. So I'm grateful for when you guys do follow me, but it definitely is a little discouraging that all your hard work in a live video is just gone and nobody can see it if they don't see it right away. I like the exclusivity. I get the concept, but I don't like to exclude anybody. So it's kind of bothers me just a little bit. Do I have my noise canceling on? I doubt it's doing very good at noise canceling. I've got a really, really good noise canceling set of headphones that worked really well. But I don't have those right now, so is what it is. You guys have a little bit more noise. Sorry for your noise. I do appreciate you guys still. All right, let's see if it's. It's so noisy. Ugh. It's like one of those things that just irritates you. Don't get mad at me. I'm sorry. I will. I really need. An in between. Like that one's fine, but it's really just a hair big. And if I could have it a hair smaller, it would be nice. But that'd be all right. All right, we got to do a little bit of deburring on that one in a little while, but we're not going to worry about that right now. You guys got questions while I'm drilling these holes? Feel free to ask. That is the right size hole already. Good to go. So now deburring tools right here. That cleans up the outer edge of the hole. Some people are just stupid in the world. It is what it is. All right. Let's go back. What are we doing next, guys? Let's go ahead and get the inside. Oh no! I didn't clean up my little bit extra track. No, I'm gonna tighten that up. That'll be fine. I don't have to do a lot of deburr on the inside. Sometimes people say ignorant stuff, and I don't know. It's kind of wild. All right, let's get back to what we're doing. I'm gonna pop these holes real quick. We'll see how this goes. How should I do this? I think I should attach this beforehand. What do you guys think? Where's the next one? This one right here. So it's kind of a toss-up, but I think I'm just gonna do it with it already mounted. Let's just do it mounted. So I'm gonna mount this right here. You can see how this is a silver-plated Teflon dielectric. Brass center contact, or either, I don't know if it's brass center contact or gold plated. I think it's brass center contact connector. Made very well, made higher quality. Pretty happy with it. Where did I put that other piece? All right. Sorry guys, give me just a moment. I've got to find out where I put my. There it is. It's hiding right there in front, right in plain sight. Look, I started a game a while back just as a joke. I didn't actually make any prizes to it, but one of these days I'll turn it into a real game. It'll be called the D-Win Scavenger Hunt. And what you guys will get to do is go on the video yourselves and be able to watch and look around and find something that I've lost, and the first one to find it will get a prize. All right, so now that the holes are done, I got to reach in here and tighten up these back nuts real quick, just a smidge. See if I can get them a little tighter than what they are. Okay. Well, that's a little unfortunate. It's not really, like, one of these leads is a little upside down. Not the end of the world, but not particularly ideal. Kind of risky. It was 70 degrees today, and now I have kind of hit my limit on what I can handle. So I'm gonna turn a little fan on below me, and hopefully that air will be enough to cool me off. It's not. We're not doing that. We're gonna cut this AC on over here. We'll get used to the summertime weather and we'll start it off, cool us down. So I need to add a little bit of solder to each of these real quick. You guys will see both leads popping out the end of this. Not a lot to it, but that one's got some solder added. Got some solder added. Done on that one, but now I gotta tidy this one up just a smidge because it's looking ugly. Nice and frayed out. If you guys are enjoying the video, definitely, if you don't mind, tap the screen is absolutely appreciated. It helps more people see my videos and lets more people kind of interact with it. Hopefully, I'll get more people into the RF community, and that's kind of my goal, to be quite honest with you. I want more people in the hobby, more people in the to radio in general, whether it be in a professional standpoint, whether it be in a hobbyist. I don't care. If you enjoy RF, you are my friend. I like you. All right, that's in place. So now let's add some solder to that one. You guys can kind of see what I'm doing a little bit. Let's bump you guys over a smidge. And let's bump you guys over just a smidge. And that'll be fine. But like I said, if you guys don't mind, tap the screen. It definitely helps more people see the videos. I think 5,900 of you have already tapped the screen, so thank you very much for doing that. If you guys on Facebook or YouTube like my video, I know you guys can't tap as many times as TikTok can, so if you don't mind, just share the video with a friend. Maybe somebody you think might get into RF theory, you might like this stuff, might want to know a little bit more about it, and then maybe my videos helps them get interested. So just share the videos with your friends and stuff like that. I would appreciate it. My goal is not to get stars and not to get donations and not to get anything like that, but to get more engagement than anything else, to get more people to see the videos. Because if I get paid from anybody, I'd rather get paid from YouTube or Facebook or whatever. I don't want to monetize what I do with the people that's watching my videos. I don't want, oh yeah, let me pay him. Like when it asked you for stars and stuff like that, I had to turn that off my Facebook. People would give me stuff, and I appreciate it, and that's fine, but I make enough money building this stuff. I don't need like gifts from you guys just for making a video. If anything, the thing that I want more than anything else is more people to see it, not more people to feel like they have to pay me money just to watch my stuff. So thank you very much. I appreciate all you guys. Whatever you do, if you just watch the video and you don't click nothing, thank you very much anyway. Thanks for watching. All right, so I'm going to have to do a little bit of three-handed technique here. I'm going to hold this still while holding this in this place while putting heat on this one. So the top of my palm of my hand is holding the whole piece from falling over. The bottom of my hand, of that same hand, is holding the shield. And then the soldering iron is also pushing against the source to get it to bond to that source, to suck in the solder to it. So kind of a four-handed operation with just two hands. It's going to be a little bit more difficult when it gets down there. I'm going to have to do some weird holding technique. All right, so let's line this booger up. So I'm going to go maybe through to the other side. It might be, it's probably, and I know it's not the best angle for you guys, so I do apologize for that. But just give me a little bit of grace, because I try to take you guys with me along on everything. But there's some things it would mess up my work if I took you along. I can't move the camera to all the perfect spots. All right, looks great. Came out good. That's fine. I'm not going to do this one from this side. I'll rotate it back to the other side. Let you guys possibly see. I think I'll do it like this, and then I'll hold it like that. Yeah, I think that's how it's going to work. Maybe. All right, so now we're holding it to keep it falling by wrapping my arm around it. Then I'm pushing it on that connection to make contact. Then I'm holding with my middle finger to give it a little bit more support. Then I'm pressing with a soldering iron to get it to, oh no, I just went into standby at the worst time possible. So my soldering iron has a standby temperature setting. It'll fall back to that. All right, added a little bit of heat to the braid beforehand to kind of hopefully benefit this process. Throw a little bit more solder on the end of the connector or the soldering iron. Nice. It turned out better than I could have hoped. Ugly little scraggly piece. Super clean. Turned out great. You guys can mostly see that. Let's zoom in real quick. Turn the camera that way just a smidge. Turn the brightness all the way up. And maybe it'll focus in the right spot. And then for the guys on TikTok, zoom in as much as I can so you guys can see how it bonded. I'll tell this thing to focus real quick one more time. In that corner over there, can you see better? That is not focusing worth a darn. There we go. Now it focused. All right, so now everybody can see. Ta-da, ta-da, ta-da. Now this is one done, another one to go. That was a lot of time, but hey, c'est la vie, such is life. If anybody didn't know that terminology, you know it now. It's Latin. And that's the translation for it too. So this is the forward reading element right here. This is the reflected reading element right here. I can put the covers back on this. This is ready. I can you can use and remote off of these leads if you really wanted to, but there's no need at this point. And then from there, you're good to go. The coax that I'm using for jumpers in it is RG400. It's extreme overkill if you see what they used originally. It's like RG174 or something like that. Let me see if I can read it. What they originally used for sample line. Yeah, RG174 is what they used, and I used RG400. So it's a little bit more overkill. It only needs to read 30 microamperes of signal, but I know this particular customer uses RG400 for their sample line, so that's what works for them. I sell that stuff by the foot if anybody wants it, but that is, or I build harnesses with it. What's up? I'm zooming out right here. Let's zoom out right over here. Zoom, 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 something like that. All right. Now, what's left to do is you got 3 wires. It's going to go, let me put a mark on it. Oh, and thanks to everybody who sent me your addresses for Mrs. Dwan to be able to see. I do appreciate all you guys. You guys are great. We've shipped to Australia and shipped stickers out to all sorts of people all over the country. So if you guys on Facebook are wanting stickers shipped out to you, I think I have a total of 35, and I think we've shipped about 12 or 13 of them out. So if anybody wants some stickers, go over to Facebook and send me your address, and I will send you a sticker for free. I have about 100 stamps, but I'm going to run out of envelopes before I run out of stamps. And then probably Mrs. Dwan's hand's going to get tired before either one of those run out. So 35 envelopes is about all I'm going to do. For now, at least. I might do some more later. But that's just a little give back kind of thing. I think it's pretty cool. I had to do 3 stamps going to Australia, but that's cool that I have an option to be able to even ship to Australia, so that was pretty sweet. I've shipped to Australia with my... that's annoying. Let me check this real quick and see if it's loose. Nope, that one's tight. Give me just a second, I gotta tighten this up. Thanks for the follow very much. I appreciate you, Frog Eye. Get some grip. You right there. Hold that in place. And now I'm going to get you right there. Actually, I'm not doing this backwards like a dummy. Sometimes you'll get yourself backwards trying to figure this stuff out. That's loosening. That's not what I want to do. That's tightening. That is what I want to do. Make sure it doesn't spin in place. I was able to push my shield and move it around. Okay, that's very annoying. Give me just a second. You're going to fix that because we ain't going to play this game. I was hoping I wouldn't have to do this, but hey, it's part of it. Name of the game, guys. So I'm just loosening this back up. There's a backing nut to tighten on the meter itself. I've got both sides loosened up, so that doesn't really matter too much from here. So now let's tighten that up. All right, that is good. Line that one up. Line this one up. You guys can't see super well, but you guys can see kind of the general concept of what I'm doing over here. That's what I use for everything. Yeah, that's good stuff for sure. Now, let's go back to the one I was doing a while ago. Hold this still. Okay. Should be good from here. This one's all finished up. Let's put the covers back on it. I already know what numbers correspond to the AC wire, so I don't have to worry about whether that's lined up properly or not. This is obviously the bottom because it doesn't have any feet and it's been dragging on its bottom for quite a while. Alrighty then. We've been live for a while, guys. Now, I did know I did figure out that as much as I appreciate you guys, literally if I stop my live and started it back over, it actually helps with engagement and I actually get more people to see my live than if I just stayed live. Holy. How can I do this? That'll work. This is kind of hard. Jeez, what a pain. Okay. Not crazy complicated. What happened? Whenever these things get tightened up, what ends up happening is, or at least what I feel like what happens, is as I'm drilling, there was no base to support it, and it bent in the covers just ever so slightly, and made it really, really hard to tighten up those back screws. Because as I'm drilling, I'm pushing pretty hard to get that to line up. Not that I have to push hard, it's just kind of a habit. So if I took this cover off and just kind of pulled outward a little bit, it would line up just probably a bit better. But it should be fine. Oh, goodness. Alrighty. Now, I've got to find these screws real quick. Let me move you guys' brightness back up so you guys don't get blinded. Blinded. I can't do that. Never mind. If you guys didn't realize, I can't be fun on some of these things because there's so many other people who have rights to the thing, to say the things. And whenever you're like making content in general, you have to make everything original, or else you need to give money to the guys who did make the stuff originally. Even though it's like just an auxiliary part of your statement, they still might try to chase you for it, which is kind of weird, to be honest, because it just helps their stuff get built up too, unless you're doing it maliciously or something. I need one more. I think I was missing one, which is really annoying. That drives me nuts. But I think I remembered that last time. If I didn't remember it, then whatever. Alright, so from here, we are not super special. Thanks for liking the live. Thank you very much, Unique Metal. Appreciate you. We're doing a custom meter setup. We're just making these things custom and remotable. They obviously could hardwire directly to the back of this, but that is not in their, what do you call it? That's not what they paid me to do. They paid me to be able to hook up to these things without having to modify them at all. And then also they have other setups that I've done for them that allows them to go seamlessly from this to those. So this is the thing that makes the most sense. Oh no. This is the worst case scenario. That's not even the right one. Where'd it go? Give me just a second. Once it hits the ground, it is no man's land. So we'll see if I can locate it. If I cannot, I can just be unhappy. And it just bothered my own personal OCD, because I can assure you that this customer specifically does not care about this in the slightest. But man, that bothers me. Alright, what do we got? What do we got? Once that thing fell, that's all she wrote. Alright, cool. Thank God it was on the wrong one. I would have noticed as soon as I threaded it on, but I just picked it up while I go. And I didn't notice it until after. So that's pretty cool. So, I'll tell you guys what's irritating me. And it's not like this is ever going to matter, because where these things are going to be is a static base application. They're going to sit still and they're never going to move. But it irritates me because the lock washers are not on there. The original lock washers are missing off of 2 of these. And that just irritates the living mess out of me. Alright, so I'm going to have to kill the live here shortly. We are as far as I can get accomplished today. This meter is set up, it's ready to go, and it's all finished. So all I've got to do is hook up power to it, and then it is done. Power is just 3 leads with 3 terminals, and then that will be all finished up. I've got to do another one. I looked at my time, and it took me around 2 hours to get this accomplished. So maybe a little bit less, maybe an hour and 30 minutes. So I've got another hour and 30 minutes to finish this, and then we will be complete on both of these. There's 2 of these that's going to the customer, but at least I'll have another one to deliver soon. I'll set these aside, and we'll get back to work on them later. Thank you guys very much for watching. I appreciate you guys hanging out. You guys on YouTube land, if you guys want to see a roll call will be back going in the next hour or so. So thank you very much for watching. Appreciate all you guys. Thanks for hanging out. I'll catch you guys back on Monday. See ya. Appreciate y'all. All right, so I will go ahead and end it first on the TikTok land, and I'll see you guys later. And then for you guys on the Facebook land and the YouTube land. Thank you guys very much for watching. I appreciate all you guys. And like I said, I will be back and do a roll call video.